Capitalism has created a pathetic, rotten world. There is no doubt in that. This is a world where lives of people are capitalized, starting from basic necessities such as food, water, shelter, and so on, to the very attention of human beings. People literally buy their lives, they literally sell their body and labor to keep themselves alive. Under such a system, death is cheaper and less burden than to live. Not just that, you don't even have the freedom to experience death. You're bound by the people around you. Capitalism has made puppets out of them as well. So, when you go, you will not go alone. With you, all those who are in chains with you will be going. This is a world where people capitalize every single thing from birth to death, from happiness to sadness, from love to hate. Every single thing you can consume or experience is a product. Every single thing that you can produce is a commodity to consume. People are stripped of their humanity and they are made to be the mere cogs of the system. The machine keeps on going. No, there is no flaw in the machine. It has been serving its purpose, filling the pockets of capitalists. This is a world where greed is rewarded, where exploitation is met with prosperity and wealth. It is easier to imagine the end of the world than imagining the end of capitalism, quotes Mark Fisher from Slavoj Zizek. Isn't that is true? Every art piece we consume, which one way or the other talks about apocalypse, talks how overt capitalism and human greed led to a social anarchy, a stage of disorder. But it never made us think that how a world would even look like during post capitalism. If the world would end during the post capitalist stage, how would it end? I can hardly think of a few cultural pieces which shows such utopia. Remember this, I'll come back to the very concept of utopia. If capitalism is the best system we ever created, a system where exploitation and inequality is celebrated, where human lives are machines of capital exploitation, then what is the point of this whole human experience? What do we really feel? You get me right, I'm not just talking about our social positioning or political ideologies. I'm trying to raise a question of the meaning of art and culture, the meaning of life we experience. My philosophical position to life is I believe life doesn't have an inherent meaning. We create our own meaning. But that meaning will also be the part of this material universe. Like, I would say, community, human interactions, enjoying the very present could be the meanings that I created. But again, if life that I experience is a complex number of social, political, economical creepers that has intertwined together to give me this experience, then I am not the one that is creating this meaning. Anyone with the ability to form a salad of words, or who believe that there exists immaterial world or create meaning out of those immaterial things like the concept of God, religion, can form a meaning. And that meaning could be generalized to the previous definition that life that they experience is a complex number of social, political, economical creepers that has intertwined together to give me this experience. Whatever they believe would be a meaning out of this human experience. Whatever they believe would be derived out of the experience they experienced after they became conscious beings. So, concluding my point, meaning of life arises from our experiences. If our experiences are manipulated, then the whole purpose of life or meaning of life can be altered. That's what capitalists do. They infiltrate the art/culture space to infiltrate into the bubbles of people's meanings or purposes of life. Example, people think that success is the purpose of life. But if you ask them what does this success thing mean to them, they would say hollow things like money, power, women, or some dream job. But they fail to understand that this very definition of success that they have created is shown or projected by the capitalist system. So, does that mean that everything we feel is just a complex concoction of underlying material conditions like social, political, economical positions? Like, if I care about society and human pain, I'm closer to being sad and empathetic, or a scenario where I'm sad of a closed one's demise, or I'm angry that my favorite team lost in the finals. Does that mean my reaction to these scenarios is systematically generated? I would say yes. Everything is political because we all live in a society of almost similar structures. So every human emotion, human creativity, feelings, experiences are all directly or indirectly the result of underlying material conditions. We feel sad about a closed one's demise. Why? Because social relations. We feel angry when our favorite team loses. Why? The feeling of the team being a part of the self or the identity was socially or politically created. And how does the society communicate these emotions with each other? One way is by art, and art becomes a part of the culture. Art comes out of a human in an experienceable or sensible form of human emotion. It becomes a form of communication. So, again, if you infiltrate into the art and culture space, you can alter life experiences of people. That's what capitalism does in a unique sense. It alters your life experiences by infiltrating into different spaces of art and culture. Art becomes a commodity to consume, to sell, to buy. Art deteriorates over time because now it is not just a way to express, it is now a commodity from which profit can be made. Fisher says that, open quotes, a film like Wall-E exemplifies what Robert B. Fowler has called interpassivity. The film performs our anti capitalism for us, allowing us to continue to consume with impunity. The role of capitalist ideology is not to make an explicit case for something in the way that propaganda does, but to conceal the fact that the operations of capital do not depend on any sort of subjectively assumed belief. It is impossible to conceive of fascism or Stalinism without propaganda, but capitalism can proceed perfectly well, in some ways better, without anyone making a case for it. End quotes. If you think this opens you to a new realm of understanding the capitalist system, then you'd be in the same boat with me. Capitalists don't have to go on streets to protest against the working class to protect their interests. Well, that sounds ridiculous. Imagine Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos going on chanting Reoccupy Wall Street with his capitalist friends. That would sound funny as fuck. Or your agreement or disagreement with the system doesn't change the fact that you are still a part of the same system. You have to work under the same system to carry yourselves. So, we are literally chained ourselves to the very actions of the system. Concluding the point, we understand that capitalism to proceed, it doesn't need to propagate, it just needs to exist. This makes us understand the system even better. Literally, everything is commodifiable. The ideologies, the theories, everything, including pro capitalism and anti capitalism, terrorism, anti terrorism, pro war and anti war, including the revolution itself. Capitalism monetizes revolution. The system is so efficient in generating profit by commodifying everything it produces, from pro capitalism, obviously, and anti capitalism by selling Che Guevara t shirts and Marxist reels. It makes every cog to run in the big machine of the system. The resisting anti machine cogs, the apolitical cogs, and as well as the pro machine, and kill those weaker cogs as well. So is there really a way out of this mess? I would suggest to imagine an equal society. That would be the most evolutionary thing that you can do under a system that robs you of your imagination. Imagining the equal and truly free society. But again, capitalism tackles that by saying that socialist society is a utopia and it is not possible. Is it true? Firstly, what really is a utopia? A society in the sociological context which is equal by all means and impractical to achieve. Now, is socialism really a utopia that is impractical and impossible to achieve? Definitely no. That's what Marx called scientific socialism. It's an ideology that is historically and scientifically derivated. But that's a topic for another video. The point is, if you see the bigger picture here, capitalism isn't saying that it is not a utopia where free markets work freely, whether capitalists think of solving inequality out of their goodwill and moral conviction. Capitalism doesn't do that. It says that these highly ambitious and impractical ideologies are utopian. Why? It has this privilege of just being in the present. Real alternatives are stripped of credibility. Why? Because they aren't worked out, or they aren't let to work out, referring to the countless number of coups and sponsored military dictatorships the Western countries and the global north has done to the global south. And the only space left for imagining change is fictional dystopia. Instead of dreaming something of good and towards progress, we tend to think of something sad and dystopian because that is the human nature. You can't think of something ambitious and hopeful while being in the pit, where with you there are billions of rotting human bodies from generations, with another billions of people looking up, finding the false hope of being on the top. Under such conditions, it is hard to be hopeful when distance between you and the top is increasing day after day, with the pit is getting hotter and smaller. That's what you see in the media we consume as well. You can think of thousands of culture and media showing the dystopian future, but rarely a hopeful utopian future. When people are surrounding left, right of these dystopian pieces created by the pessimistic and people who are inherently understand the behavior of capitalism, it is completely normal to imagine such dystopia and be pessimistic towards the future. Isn't that against human nature? For stripping you off of your imagination and giving the false hope of being on the top sometime in the future, and discarding every bit of hope towards alternative systems where equality is possible. Isn't all this can be called inhumane and against humanity? Because while doing the human nature argument against socialism, it commits a crime of changing the human nature itself. Normalizes greed and being jealous and disrespectful towards fellow human beings. Was it a human nature to own a slave? Well, not so surprisingly, that's what the slavery advocates argued. If capitalism altered the human nature, then why can't socialism? The only way to tackle this would be to create art and talk more about the socialist realism. How would a society would be under socialism? That is a thought for another video. But again, is socialist realism is the only answer? Is imagining an alternative future an answer that we can rely on? A system where everything is capitalized, that also includes future. But as I established earlier, it is not an optimistic future, but rather a pessimistic one, dystopian one. Dreaming about future will give you hope, and that can be emotionally burdenous most of the times. But practicing hope surely is a radical thing, and that is coming from a pessimistic and a person who doesn't have any hope towards future. Personally, I am not that courageous of a person to have hope for this world. In fact, it gives me solace when I think that 100 years from now, this all will doesn't even matter. Everything is for nothing, as far my understanding goes for the world as of now. Me writing this also contributes to the same system, but there sure will be a way out of this. It just needs some thought and time and reads and more people waking up. Things like Zoran Mamdani winning the New York mayoral elections is quite hopeful. People supporting such progressive policies, people supporting Bernie Sanders, and this increasing subscription to socialist ideology is quite hopeful. But at the same time, as I said in the previous videos, live under a fascist society, a fascist dictatorship, a fascist government. To me, that doesn't even matter. That doesn't give any hope for me for the society that I can see around me. Well, more people would start waking up, but until then, people would have died due to avoidable reasons like economic instability and climate crisis. Death makes me sadder, but isn't it how it's always has been? People die due to completely avoidable reasons. Well, that would again be my capitalist realist side talking, so ignore it. And I think this is enough for today. Bye.